Whereas like Gen V, it does. I feel like it adds more to the world of the boys without actually necessarily needing it. Like there's not enough like there's not especially in season 1, there wasn't like a bunch of cameos and shit. There wasn't a bunch of like depending on like whatever happened in the boys directly affected. At least with season 1, it didn't really do that. Like where built like season 1 did a good job of like you understanding the fans already knew what the world was about, knew how it's kind of fucked up for heroes, and we get introduced to like Marie, and she like is in this insane asylum.
At the end, I felt like the twist, or not the twist, but like because one thing I like about Gen V and the boys low key is that it's not about villains in the same way that Marvel bullshit is. It's like it's about a mystery, which is what made like a Winter Soldier so good. Which made Winter Soldier so good, because it's like what we're doing is watching the characters learn what something is. Like, what is Odessa? Who is the head popper? What is Marie's powers? Like, we want to learn those questions, not like how am I going to save the day?
Who's the big bad? And stuff like that.
Yeah, who's the big bad? That gets boring real quick. And so the twist of like, oh, Marie is actually the same thing as what Victoria is.
Yeah,
and then. Because we still don't even know how any of the powers in the boys really even work. Like we don't know what the mechanism of Compound V is or any of that. So they've got a lot of runway. I think once they stop focusing on the Homelander shit, because I feel like Homelander got boring after 2 seasons to me.
You think so?
But I'll get into it. But let me first say, welcome everybody to Waving the Red Flag. Eric Kripke's favorite comic book podcast. It's your boy. It's Eddie. Today I've got Kova in the building. You know what I'm saying? Of Kova's Comics. Fucking Josh and Alvin are currently away. They're actually starting their own podcast because we had some beef, you know what I'm saying? So them, Flip, and Ish from the Joe Budden podcast are all going to be doing a podcast together, and it's called Fuck Eddie and Joe. That'll be dropping soon. So check that out. In the meantime, Kova, thanks for coming through. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Okay, so no, I'm just obviously I'm joking. They're gonna be back. To anybody that's unclear. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you gotta. They didn't like Eddie Budden no more. You know what I mean? But yeah, okay. So my view on Homelander is I feel like the first 2 seasons of The Boys were like that was enough runway for what that character is, which is you've got a highly competent team, The Boys, who are discovering and learning more about this villain. They find a chink in the armor, and then they discover a new weapon in the form of Soldier Boy, and then that doesn't get enacted because of just a series of like infighting shit, which is like, sure, that does happen in real life, but that's mad boring. Like, why am I watching the heroes figure out the weapon to kill the villain and then do some slipping on a banana peel shit where they just lose it and fuck the whole game up? It's like, this is like, why are we making the main characters feel so goofy that a villain that should have gotten packed up 2 seasons ago is still walking around? Y'all figured out how to kill him twice and still haven't. What are we doing? So that's why to me it was like boring.
Yeah, I think, well, the thing about Homelander, I feel like they did a good job of building him up and making him so like scary in the first couple seasons, and now I feel like they're trying to like break him down, even without like the boys being a direct line to breaking him down. It's just like all the external stuff, like finding his son. He was drinking the milk from like not being his comfort anymore, getting rid of Stan Edgar, thinking that was gonna like propel him to like being the leader that he thought he was gonna be, and then everybody just like the meeting when he was with the those highly exec people. And they were just like, bro, cut the bullshit. We don't care about all that stupid ass racist, what's it called? Culture war shit. Like, bro, we just want to make this money, and like, and he's just like feeling like down, and he's like trying to rely on Sage and all this other stuff. So I think they're doing a good job. And then but it makes me more compelled about the character is how in the real life people are like, oh, Homelander's so dope and and then like the director and actor be like, bro, y'all don't even understand like this. You're not supposed to like Homelander. Like this is y'all are stupid. Like. Homelander's like a little white supremacist, that's like a freaking Trump stand-in. Like you guys are dumb. Like so, it made me even like
show is like that because they did the same shit with the fucking X-Men '97, where it was like y'all not supposed to like the Nazis. Like they're the bad guys, and people are like, oh no, man, he making some good points. Maybe we should get rid of the mutant scourge. It's like, what do you? It's called the X-Men. You idiots.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the infighting kind of makes it compelling. Like. Story arcs. There's sometimes it does kind of get forced, and it's kind of like it's like the whole like Sage thing where she kind of gets duped, even though she's supposed to be the smartest person or whatever. Like
I'm gonna get into this.
So I mean, I've heard people talk about that. So it kind of just like weird. I mean,
let's get straight into Sage, because I feel like that she's probably one of the most interesting characters, both like from a meta analytic level and just like in the show itself. Because I think that in like intersecting Sage into the Homelander story is actually kind of quite interesting. Because what you're talking about before, which is that like Homelander is this narcissistic, evil, almost like over the top kind of like fascist white, like neo white supremacist stand-in that we've seen in a bunch of other shows made by Hollywood, where it's like, yeah, look, we're making a criticism on contemporary authoritarianism and fascism. The fan base is like, yeah, but we hate black people too. So like, we like this character, you know? But I think inserting Sage into it is interesting, because I wonder if it makes them question like, oh, you've got the Nazi fascists being run by I guess a Candace Owens, really. So maybe it doesn't. Maybe it is. They're just like, yeah, no, that's Candace. That's what Sage's character is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Homelander isn't even like a competent, like he doesn't really know what he is. I don't think he's like, I hate other races. I just want people to like respect me and love me. So just kind of like incompetent, like, because when he was with old girl before, who was a literal Nazi, he was kind of like, bro, like, bitch, you're like tripping, you're doing a little too much. But then like Sage comes in and he's like relying on her. And I also think that Sage doesn't really, to me, she doesn't seem to have like a motive that's like political or anything like this, more of like self-preservation type of motivation, where she's just like, I'm going to do what's going to be best for me and aligning with Homelander. And I'm going to lead him into a path that like, we don't know yet, but like, it's going to be a path that's going to benefit me more. I mean, we saw in the Gen V season 2, where she ends up like working with Godolkin also. And, kind of trying to undermine Homelander at the same time. So she's like working all of the strings, but also I feel like her being like this super, we don't know how smart she is. We don't know how dumb she is. We don't know if she's like everything's coordinated or not. Plans. It kind of gives it like a lot of leverage and leeway for her, whatever, for the writers to kind of either ex machina her and be like, oh, this was the plan the whole time, or like, or fucking,
she planned it all along.
Yeah, like, she was, since episode 1, she was in the background, like, one of those Easter egg videos are gonna pop up, like she was there the whole time, like, type shit, and it's like, what the fuck?
I wouldn't even be against that, like low key, because I feel like the character seems like, I wish they did more like feat stuff, like with the A, just, you know what I'm saying, to clarify for people who listen to the podcast, because I am also a feat man, but like FEAT, because I feel like for her, I want to see her like solving Rubik's cubes and shit like that. Like not that, because I know that Will Smith loves to do the Rubik's cube shit to show that the character is smart, but just I'd like to see her do shit where it's like, it shows me quickly this character is at a different level. Like they're superhumanly smart, because the shit that Sage is doing that we've seen so far, this is like Littlefinger, Tyrion Lannister shit. It's like there's nothing superhuman about this. I want to see her like do shit that Robot from Invincible is doing, where it's like, I'm controlling with my mind 17 different drones while I'm having a conversation and inventing, just something like that, to see that because it feels like they can just write any plot and be like, oh yeah, Sage planned it. But it's like,
exactly.
Does that really make her the smartest person on earth? Like her first feat was curing leukemia or some shit, and I just haven't seen her do any real smart bitch shit since then. So I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like, but essentially, like in the episode where she pops up, she kind of just like comes up out of the shadow and is like, "See, I told you she was gonna come back to the thing." It's like, what? Like, that's not like a superhuman power. You're just like super smart. Maybe you kind of are good at odds about like maybe 50 odds that she was gonna come back or not. You know how to entice and persuade people to, like, what I'm saying, like, or you know how to tell people like the right things to tell, whoever, in order to persuade them. But it's like, yeah, like you said, I want to see you work 30 different mechanisms at the same time. I want to see you build a machine that's going to do something else, or like it does kind of leave, like I said, a lot of room. It's just like whenever somebody's like super OP powerful, you have to like, now you have to figure out, okay, how am I going to like dumb this person down or weaken them in order to give them, like, that's like the problem with like Superman had for like a long time, where he's just so powerful. So you have to find out, it became boring. So you have to find different ways to hurt him, like, and like more like mental gymnastics type thing. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It's like, we got pink kryptonite and make Superman gay for a little bit. So now he's, what I'm saying, he's opening himself up to a new lifestyle. And it's like, what do we do? We're just trying to figure out ways to have him do different shit. And it's like, get back to just make him less powerful. But did you ever read Superman Red Son?
No, I never read this. Okay, I know it did when he was born in like Russia and something like that.
Yeah. So he becomes like a communist, and he's just Superman, but for the Warsaw Pact. But anyway, in that, Lex is still American, and he's like super duper smart. And they do have him do a lot of feats, which I don't think you have to be, because somebody made the point that you have to be smart to really write a smart character. And I don't think that that's exactly true. Like, I think that that's true if you're having them do shit that we can comprehend what the steps of what they're doing. But I think you can easily just go, I invented the cure to cancer. Yep. Cool. That character is smart as fuck. That's actually pretty easy to do. So like the first thing that he does in a scene is he's in the middle of doing something. CIA agent comes in, he writes something on a napkin. He's like, here. And he's like, what is this? He's just like, oh, I've just balanced the entire economy of the US. Just use that formula. You have to plug in some numbers. We don't see what the formula is. We don't see what's on the napkin, but it establishes very quickly this nigga is superhumanly intelligent. Have her do some shit like that. But to your point, I think that her plan, as we've seen it already, I don't think she's as dumb as she looks. I think that what happened is, so like here, if here are the steps. She goes, she's planning to have Godolkin get healed by Marie. We find out that all of Cipher's plans up till this point were actually Sage's plans. So all the smart shit that we thought Cipher was doing as the big bad, turns out he was never really the big bad. Sage was the big bad. And she was just using his mind control powers as the catalyst for her plan. So then he gets healed, and then he starts white manning too close to the sun. He goes, well, actually, now that I think about it, I think that my plan is actually better than the smartest person on earth.
And I don't need
actually,
you.
I'm just going, yeah. And I'm going, he starts mansplaining to her basically. As soon as he gets like hot again, and as soon as he gets the fresh lineup, he's like, yeah, look, bitch, you was fucking with me when I was a little prune with the secondary body. Now that I'm really real, I'm trying to fuck people up. I want to learn how much my powers can do. And then she's like, oh, you're stepping on all over my plan. And people are like, oh, she's dumb. She didn't see that coming. I didn't interpret that scene that way. When she's like begging him and puts her hands on his face and is like, hey, like, let's stick to our plan. Let's stick to our plan. She's not begging him for her sake. She's begging him because she likes this nigga. Like she actually caught feelings.
Emotionally
so she's like,
involved.
Please make me fucking kill you. So she's begging him to save his own life. As soon as she realizes she can't change him, she kills him within 10 minutes. The second he left the hotel room, she already said the contingency, which means she always knew dating a white man was going to have this potential problem. So she already planned that. And as soon as it happened, she was like, all right, cool, he's dead. I'm sad about this. And that's why she's giving this whole long monologue with Polarity about it's always the same. You can't never date a white man. They always let you down. And that's kind of what that scene was to me.
Yeah, definitely. It was an interesting like turn of events, not with like that, because I guess we kind of seen that it was going to move in that direction just for him. I mean, you have to be some sort of like a narcissist to want to build a serum in order to make super powerful people. And then obviously if you do something like that, you're going to try it on yourself. And I don't know like what like they were going to do, because like to keep him around, or what the ultimate plan was for him, or it was just to kill him. But she definitely did have like the contingency plan just to like, all right, well, I'm just gonna leave the door open. And we already know, she already figured out that, oh boy, he couldn't control, oh boy. So we were just gonna, go from there. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think she's a dumb character. I just don't know how they're going to write her in a way that doesn't like undermine the whole entire story and just kind of make it like, oh, this was supposed to happen like anyways, or like whatever, and just make it kind of dumb. Just kind of like what's it called, like the what is the trope they do like in like manga, where it's like the chosen one trope or like whatever, and it kind of just makes it seem like, oh, this was just gonna happen anyways. He was gonna win or she was gonna win or whatever. So
you talking about with Marie being the chosen one, and like
no, just like with how Sister Sage's plan is gonna be, where it's like, oh, I already knew this was gonna happen anyways, and it's gonna be like, well, that like it kind of leaves out the like the consequences of every single situation. And it kind of makes it seem like it was nonsensical because it was going to happen anyways. Like she already knew it was going to happen. It was always going to happen. It kind of removes the choices of all the other characters and kind of just like it was just her plan anyways. And like and just kind of like, well,
that's fair. And if I'm understanding where you're coming from, I'm looking at something like Psychohistory in the Foundation series, or like the Batman or Xanatos Gambit, where it's like these characters are doing shit where they're predicting the behavior of like a bunch of erratic people all simultaneously. And it's like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you could know for sure exactly what Marie would do when she met Annabeth, because you didn't predict that Greg was going to start dating fucking Emma, and that was going to make Sam jealous. So Sam was going to do some shit to change Marie's mind. Like, you can't predict all of that. And so it's very easy to go like, oh yeah, I planned the whole season of all these characters' actions. I think over over large periods, because I said this about Homelander. I think Homelander is unpredictable over short periods of time, but incredibly predictable over long periods of time. So it's like, yeah, you don't know if he's going to kill you in a particular moment, but you know over the course of 6 months, he's going to crash out, fuck something up. He's going to be sad. We know what he's going to do over a long period of time. So you can predict him in that way. But yeah, I agree. It does just take the whole shit down. But yeah, what do you think phase 2 is?
As far as like moving forward to the the next season and stuff?
Well, because when she's talking to him, she's like, phase 1 was putting Homelander in power and then him having him fall from power very quickly. That was phase 1. Phase 2 is what she's doing with Cipher, and she's now killed him because he was no longer useful. But they were about to go into phase 2, so I'm wondering, like, what do we think phase 2 is?
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think she was gonna try to like brainwash Homelander, like use like him as just the puppet, like the face, because everybody like likes him and stuff like that, and then just kind of like use him for whatever they had in mind and planned to, moving forward. Like I think that's why he was trying to get his power stronger. Maybe he was already like understanding that was what phase 2 was, so that's why he was trying to go beyond his limits or whatever the hell it was, and getting all those boils and shit on his skin, and then obviously, like you said, he went white boy crazy and was just like, fuck this, I don't need, like, I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna go march up to Homeland, just fuck him off, and just do my own thing and take over everything. Because obviously, if you're like that power is like OP power of just like controlling multiple people at the same time, like some, so like I kind of think that's what phase 2 was going to be. I mean, I have some predictions like what the next season or like how they're going to end the show. But I mean, what do you think? Like they were kind of like leading to with phase 2.
I'll say what I think, and then I definitely want to hear all your predictions, bro. I'll say phase 2. It appears that with phase 2, she doesn't need Godokin, but Godokin would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
Which seems like what she's trying to do is unite. And I think what Sage is maybe trying to do is she's playing like a long game to like completely destroy all soups. Like I think she's doing something like that. Like I'm trying to get Godokin you taken down. I'm trying to get the 7 destroyed. I'm trying to get Vought destroyed all at once. So I've helped Homelander take over Vought and fail. Then I'm going to help Godokin take over Jinyu and then fail, but I had to kill him because he went off script. But I think it's going to be something like that. I don't think that Sage has a specific plan for Marie, but it seems unlikely because Marie is this like, oh, you're the most powerful soup ever. And they kind of like retconned her to actually be on the same level as Homelander and from the same like batch of experiments.
Yeah. I mean, I see that. Like they definitely because at first she was supposed to be as strong as old girl that popped everybody's head off, right? They were like supposed to have like similar powers, but now she's like she can just heal people, bring people back to life,
stronger than that,
all this crazy shit. So I mean, moving forward, I think that might be a good like thing where she Sage is gonna try to dismantle everything and kill all the soups, and like maybe she has it in her head like the world will be better off type shit without all of us around because we're not doing anything but just fucking shit up anyways. But the only reason I wouldn't say that's gonna happen is because there's like it's already pre-planned. The other things are supposed to come on after the boys season in like show in, supposed to be other shows supposed to like spin off, and Genevieve's supposed to continue on after, which I don't know how they're gonna like plan that out.
Like a season 3.
Yeah, supposedly we'll see, but I think what's gonna happen, maybe I don't know, but Marie is going to like depower Homelander, and they're just gonna like keep him around as like some like martyr of like see what happens to the weak man to lose their powers that are like on some. I don't know if you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, but
I watched the first Encore. I watched
so like how they take away the fire, they take away his powers. I think that's gonna be like kind of what they do with Homelander, and then I think Stan Edgar is going to go back in power of Vought, and then just continue as business as usual and just try to like fuck shit up or like whatever, or like maybe take Marie and mind control. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's kind of like how they're going to get rid of Homelander, because in the comics, Homelander gets killed by Black Noir, who is supposed to be like Homelander's clone. Yeah, so but they completely, changed that whole entire deal up.
Kripke has done an amazing job of taking a dog shit like source material and turning it into a great series in my view.
That comic is fucking ass, dude.
That comic was terrible. I didn't get through like 5 issues. I was like, this is garbage. One of the things that I love about the show is, and I think this ties into like what you were saying about having Marie depower Homelander, is in the comics, basically all of the characters were just flying bricks. Everybody just had like some degree of flight, super strength, and vulnerability. That was what everybody had. And then they just had themes on top of it, which I think was Garth Ennis's like commentary on how dumb a lot of superpower shit is. Because Aquaman is basically just water Superman. So I think that was his commentary on that. Everybody's just kind of the same. But I think it really limits the storytelling because it's like, oh, everybody is just basically a super soldier. And then you have like a gimmick on top of that. You're an alien, you're a water lady, you have long hair, whatever. But what Kripke has done is, we just have a bunch of weird ass powers, like weird powers with weird fucking limitations. You got a Medusa for her pussy hair and shit. And I was like, okay, this is, you can do a lot with this. So it's like, now you've got a bloodbender and you can just do whatever you want with that. She can manipulate, she can heal people, she can take powers away, like, which I think is just great. And their power scaling is a lot more consistent.
Yeah, like it does like a good job of like what the repercussions of having certain powers are, and like you said, the limitations, because that was like a whole thing for like Godolkin is like, bro, you have a black hole butthole, bro. What do we need you here for? Like, or your gimmick is
that's a great power.
It's just so stupid. I don't know,
like low key, bro. Okay, hold on. Let me walk you through the theory. I feel like Godolkin was doing the shit that they do in X-Men, where it's like, if you're pretty, your power is good. If you're ugly, your power is bad. Yeah. This motherfucker has a pocket dimension in his butthole. That's a crazy ass power. Like, it's only dumb because it's his asshole. Yeah. But if he had a portal that opened in his chest that you could store infinite people in, you'd be like, that's a crazy ass power. Like Marie's power is low key dumb as fuck on the paper. Wait, so you can self-harm and then control the blood that comes out of your slit wrist? That's a dumbass power. But you start scaling it up like, oh, wait, what else can she do with blood? She can sense blood. She can control blood in other people's bodies. So it's like Butthole Boy would be powerful if they gave him a chance.
I mean, they did give him a chance. He did use his power for like type shit. Yeah, he definitely brought them into the danger room. But it does, like, Godolkin was definitely on some like eugenics type shit. Like, oh no, you're not strong. You're not gonna be part of my army, my Nazi army. I can't. You have thumbs for a big toe, bro. You get it.
Yeah, that is kind of a dumb power. I'll give you that. Yeah,
not even a power.
Big toes is dumb.
That's just like a modification or something like you just. Like,
that's not even a power, really.
Yeah, like, so it's just some stupid stuff like that. But like with the like actual powerful people. Now he has to do, like, as we were talking about with Homelander or Sage, with these people who are just super powerful. You have to figure out these mental gymnastics on writing these characters in a way that makes sense. And then, like, what is their like downfall? As for like Marie, she's like OD now, but her downfall is going to be like the people around her, her own mental state on how to deal with this. She's a young girl or young woman. She's like, even like with her relationship with like Jordan and how that's going to play out in the future with, she's in love with him. She's never been with nobody else. And she was trapped and, she never lived that life experience. Like, she doesn't want to be the chosen person no more. She doesn't even know if that's a real thing. She just is like, I'm just here. I got forced into becoming stronger when I didn't want to be. Like she just wanted to have like this normal life, find her sister, and then make amends for killing her parents. So now she's pushed into this form of like, I have to be the guy or the person to defeat the most powerful and scariest character of all time. So I mean, yeah, the writer he definitely did a great job of making a very compelling story with a lot of moving parts that could have went haywire really, really, really fast. Because like, again, the Ex Machina, you could have a lot of plot armor on certain characters, like, he just didn't die because he's just super strong and he's just not gonna die that way. And you know what I'm saying? So like, he's having to like figure out like, how can you kill Homelander? And he was a guy, like, he could have had his head popped up, he could have did this, he could have did that, and he's worked his way into doing it in a different and interesting way, at least in my opinion.
No, I think so. Like, I'll have my criticisms of the final episode, but I think that everything that he's done, and even he explained shit that I was looking at, and I was like, oh wait, why didn't she just da da da? And then he had like a throwaway line of, oh damn, like, she was too tired. Because I'm like, why did they not just fucking heal Doug? Like, that was so dumb. Or like, why didn't Cipher just control Marie immediately? Like, the second this, like, fuck all the whole plot of season 2 shouldn't have even happened. He should have just been trying to fucking control Marie the whole time. That should have been the whole plan.
She was,
but
it's like,
she was too strong. So cool. Yeah, that was the explanation. But I'm looking at this and being like, why the fuck does she heal Kate? Because to me, Kate does not deserve redemption yet. Like, she's not even close to me yet. Like, I feel like they're leaning on this like white woman victimhood thing, which is what the character is. Like, I get what Kripke is writing with that character, a character who views themselves as a constant victim, but knows better than others. And the world around them treats them as if they're incapable of harming others while they consistently harm others. And so I'm like, cool, give her a redemption arc. Why is she getting a redemption arc this literally 2 weeks ago? She tried to fucking kidnap and control Jordan and put them all back in Guantanamo Bay. Like, you did not get better in 2 weeks, dog. Like, come on.
Yeah, not at all. Like, I mean, essentially, like, at the end of the season, she got super red pilled and was like, "Oh, we're the gods, da da da. We don't need to, whatever." And then she tried to like turn on her friends, lost her fucking mind, lost her arm,
killed mad people,
and then got her friends literally locked up for like months on end. One of your friends ended up
one of them died
in the jail, and then we escaped. You didn't even help us get out. And then while we were locked up, you were a micro celebrity pushing like a white supremacist narrative.
Fun.
Like, I'll give the other boy Sam more leeway because he was essentially just drugged the whole time. Like, she was just like brain fucking him, and he was just kind of like, whatever, I don't care. And
didn't she push him to do all those murders, or was that of his own accord?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was already a nutbag before that, so he might have. I don't know, but I know like they show the part where she's like, "Oh, just calm down" or whatever, and just gave him the hand Xanax real quick, and he was just like,
"Yeah, there we go." So the 5-finger Xanny,
yeah. So he was just kind of. But even before that, he was already fucked up. Like, he was so I'll give him a little bit of leeway, and he didn't really have a redemption arc. He was just like, he's just crazy, and that's the sentiment behind it. But like with her, it's kind of just like you just kept doing fucked up shit, and then you expected people to just forgive you because we were friends at one point. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but it's like you never were. She was in the back pushing people from the beginning. That's what's more fucked up. The whole season 1, she was like a minor villain until they found out after the fact, because she kept pushing Fireboy to forget all his trauma and shit. So she's been a villain the whole time.
His brother, and all that shit. Like, she was moving all the chess pieces in her own favor pretty much until she couldn't no more. And then she loses her powers, and then she's like, "Just heal me, just help me, just da da da." Like, when she found Marie could heal her, and it's like, bro, like you literally fucked everybody over, and then you contributed to a bunch of fucked up shit happening outside that they don't even know about it because they were locked up. But it's still, I mean, I don't know if that plays a role. Maybe, I don't know, but it was just a very awkward like arc, and I feel like she isn't done being the bad guy. I think is going to lead to something else. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just. She's joining the resistance.
Honestly, make a lot of sense to me,
or something like that. She's like, I can't do all this rebellion stuff, and in the next season,
and then she's 100% becoming honestly, to me, that would actually probably maybe be good writing, because I feel like then that'll instead of it being like the show is telling us we should forgive Kate, it's telling us that Marie is naive. Yeah. And that she needs to learn this lesson by being like, you can't just let somebody puppy dog eye and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just a sad cheerleader," and then get their way back in. It's like Marie said it perfectly in the fucking when they were in the parking lot or whatever, where she's just like, "Okay, so you were ready to control Jordan, kill us, put us back in prison when you had powers. But now that you are weaker, now that you have less capacity to oppress and enact violence, now you're a changed person." Yeah, this sounds like a very common abuser in a relationship or dynamic. Like, "Oh, now that I'm about to leave, now why didn't you change?
Now you're gonna be good, nice and stuff."
Yeah, you're gonna be good because you have something to lose. I don't think so. The second I fucking heal you, you're gonna be back on bullshit, because the problem was you were always easily corrupted by power. And until that changes, it's like the Iron Man shit. Like, if you're nothing without the ability to push, you don't deserve to be able to push. So yeah, your head is fucked up. You got the one arm missing. That's what, honestly, I kind of appreciate how much they fucked her up. Like,
she had the fucked up haircut,
her arm got blew off. Like,
and then when she gets back from the hospital, everybody's in her face and shit like that. Like, you really like they did a good job of making you feel like, damn, like maybe she, you know what I'm saying, like, man, like they don't understand like her issues or whatever. But it was she definitely had like I don't even know if it was a redemption arc. It was more just like she made herself into a person that they need, essentially. Like, she made herself more useful or needed, or like, "Oh, my powers,
ingratiated herself.
If you give her my powers, like I can make this
help
shit
you.
help, type shit."
And that's like, weasel shit. That's weasel shit. That's shit, like Teabag from fucking Prison Break, where it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna weasel my way into this because I know I can make you dependent on me," which is like, that's been her MO since she was like a kid. You know what I mean? Like, when she was locked up in a room from her parents or whatever, it's like she always figures out how how to make herself essential in whatever the current power structure is. So she sees, because I'm injured and fucked up, now I'm no longer of use to the supremacists. So I gotta shift, and she's gonna snake them again. I think you're
like a real white girl, man. That's a real white girl.
Yeah. And look, people are just people, you know what I'm saying? But there is a particular power structure that certain people have access to. I'll just say that.
And they get the autonomy the autonomy to maneuver in those power structures because of, their phenotypes and shit like that, But
that's a very good point, because like a lot of other characters wouldn't be able to do that kind of flip-flopping. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to pick your team. Whereas she's like, yeah, I know I was a supremacist yesterday, but like, come on, guys, I'm changed after these 5 days have been really, really transformational for me, guys. It's like, all right, man, like, what are the fucking odds? To be fair, okay, this is just a good point that somebody said. Kate and Sage are slick the same person. Sage is kind of does have a little bit of that capacity to realign herself very, very quickly, which I think maybe goes a little bit against what you were saying. What do you think about that?
But we don't know what Sage's intent is yet. We don't know what the fuck she even wants. We don't we know like she wants to be in a position of power, but we don't know what she wants to do with that power. Whereas Kate is, like you said, she just is maneuvering within the power structure that is afforded and in front of her. You know what I'm saying? So like, she's gonna get with the strongest soup at Godolkin and be his girlfriend because it's gonna make her look better. She's going to, now that Marie is out and we know Marie is OD powerful as fuck, she's gonna be friends with Marie because whatever. I don't know, like I don't remember her ever even commentating on like the fucked up stuff that happened, in the season. She didn't really say anything, but she's like, oh, they want to kill us, or it's a trap, or say like little shit like that, but she didn't really like care about anything. Where Sage is like, she's moving pieces behind the scenes, and we just don't know what the outcome is going to be at the end of the day. We don't know if she's trying to be in charge of all the soups, if she's trying to kill all the soups, if she's just trying to get herself in a position where nobody fucks with her anymore. She just gets left alone. We don't know what the fuck she's trying to do yet. And Kate is just like you said, snake weasel, just there to try to keep herself alive as have status. Possible.
Yeah, because even the way they did like a Charlie Kirk shit with Kate, where they were like, oh, she was injured by the Starlighters, and we need to rally against these fucking Marxist fucking lefty heroes and shit. And they tried to do that. So they cart her out in a wheelchair with her head fucking got
it's crazy though, because obviously they wrote that way before oh boy got popped, but it's like, it's like a trivial thing nowadays where it's just like I guess it is online where anybody who's like a right winger that something happens to them, like back when everybody was getting canceled and shit, they would automatically try to, all the right wing grifters would be like, oh, see, they cancel this person. They try to like bring him into their group. That's kind of like the Joe Rogan kind of thing where
you play a song about depressed wages, and they're like, let's see if we can get this guy on the right on the Joe Rogan podcast real quick. Let's see if we can turn him into an icon for the right wing agenda.
Yeah, we're gonna bring him in and give him a hug, and then now you're gonna start saying the same shit that we're saying. So I mean, so it's like it is interesting how tapped on the pulse the writers are for the boys, and even like whenever girl got the assassination attempt, it was like literally the same time when Trump almost got popped and shot in the air. Remember that shit? It was the last season, and they had to put a fucking a warning or whatever before the episode, because it was literally like the same fucking week. I don't remember who had the assassination attempt, and I think it was girl
in Gen V.
In the boys. It was in the last season of the boys. It was like the last episode.
Was it with them trying to kill Victoria Newman?
Yeah, yeah, she had the assassination attempt.
Oh, because before they didn't know how strong she was, they tried to like shoot her and shit. But
it was the same time when Trump was at wherever the fucking Pennsylvania, and so it's like crazy to think how on spot they are with a lot of these things, even with like the Homelander thing, where like I don't know if they calculated the fact that people were gonna like fall in love with the character or whatever, but they were just like, what the fuck? And then like you've seen in the second season, they like actually like of the boys, they pissed off their fan base by like making Frenchie gay and all those other things that kind of happened where people were like, what the fuck is all woke? This show is woke, and people were like, duh, that's the whole point of the show is
the whole point the whole time.
But they didn't see that.
Even the comic like low key is like it's dumber, but it's in the same vein.
Yeah. So is it
okay? So because I feel like the boys is because you know how they say like art imitates life is stranger than fiction, all that kind of stuff. I think to some extent what's happening is that like when you're writing something good, you're going like, what would the characters do in this scenario? And if you're writing really well, you're not going with plot, you're going, how do people act? And when they are faced with this situation, this is what happens. And you do that on a large enough scale, you're basically doing like social prediction. So it's like, you look at The Boys and it's like, yeah, they accidentally predict a lot of shit because, well, one, if they don't predict something, if it's just like, yeah, because there was never a time where, you know what I'm saying, a congressman got blown up, you know what I'm saying, in a basement somewhere. That did happen in The Boys. But when it lines up, it's like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're throwing spaghetti. But to some extent, they understand we've got political fucking division. We've got right-wing, fascist, authoritarian, whatever. We've got progressive folks trying to like organize towards certain goals. We've got fake corporate interests that are trying to be either fake or, you know, conservative, depending on what, you know, how the wind is blowing. So you put all of that in a show and it's like, yeah, they're tapped in. So they're going to accidentally predict a lot of shit because they're just.
And the show kind of came out in like the best time because there's been like since 2020 or 2019 to now has been so much chaotic things going on within like the ether of like the internet and like social political commentaries that you were saying with actors and how they react to certain things, because they've done all of that shit in this time and they've done it like on par every single time for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like even with old girl who's like the live streamer who was like more like a stand-up or like a Charlie Kirk than Kate.
Oh, we talking about the little Mexican lady with the mole?
I'm talking about on The Boys, the girl with the country ass accent and shit like that. She's trying to like
Firecracker.
Yeah, yes. Firecracker. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. Even though that's like a poignant thing, but like unless you're like super on the internet, you wouldn't have even known that was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that, like I said, is just super duper tapped in. But yeah, it definitely is. If you are just throwing spaghetti, you just throwing shit, it's gonna land at one point.
Especially if you're tapped into like, here's what's going on politically. Because I did see somebody saying like it'd be funny if they had Firecracker get Charlie Kirk and her like somebody asked her a question and be like, you know, counting Starlighter violence or not counting Starlighter violence, and then she gets fucking head popped or some shit like that. But man, that would be tough. That'd be crazy. That'd be too much. Like I'd watch it, but I feel like that'd get them like they get Jimmy Kimmel'd off that.
We'll see, because I mean it is the last season and they are gonna have to like kill a lot of people or whatever. I don't know. We will see what happens, because again, I mean, there's supposed to be a Gen V season 3, which I'm sure is just gonna be the repercussions of whatever happened in the previous season or whatever. And there's supposed to be another spin-off show, Gen V Mexico, or there's supposed to be The Boys Mexico, and then there's a prequel show about Soldier Boy. And like how he came.
I would watch. Honestly, there's so much shit because I feel like there's so much. If you go, it's not about big bads anymore. It's about revealing, like it's like corporate espionage almost. I'm like, you can do a whole bunch of these spinoffs, and I'm like, I'll watch all of this. I think at least.
Yeah. So I have something. So what? What do you think about like using like an actor's death as a main plot point on the show?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Because like when I was watching it, oh sorry,
go ahead. No, you go.
So when I was watching it, it was kind of like weird for me, because so the first episode I was like, okay, I understand, like it makes sense. They gotta explain why he's not here, da. And then as I kept watching this season, I was just like, damn, they're harping on this shit. Which again, it makes sense, but it's just like, damn, like for me, like say I was old boy's brother, like Chance's brother, I would have been like, bro, y'all not about to capitalize on my brothers. Like Andre didn't have to fucking die. Like, y'all could have just replaced the actor. And then it would have just like, you know, but then also it's like, it's kind of gets to this whole argument about like whether or not to replace actors or not. Because I mean, that was the big thing with Chadwick, like replace T'Challa or don't replace him. And I think that might be a little bit different situation, because what Chadwick Boseman did on that show, how polarizing the first Black Panther movie was, how much of a movement it was. And when you like watch interviews like with Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and all the other cast, and how much of an impact he had on it, it made sense. But then like, if we look at other like smaller like shows or actors like Fez from Euphoria, he's dead. What are they gonna do with that? One of the characters on Star Wars, the Ahsoka show, he passed away, and they immediately replaced him with another actor. Harrison Ford's character as the Red Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross, he was a different actor in the MCU before they picked Harrison Ford. Yeah. I'm like wondering like what is the determining factor on replacing an actor, or like, because is it like plot driven, because obviously you can write off a character, or is it, you know what I'm saying? So I wonder,
think it's
like,
a couple of things.
Yeah.
Because so first of all, I thought that what they did for Chance was great. Like I loved it. Now that said, I'm not his brother, I'm not his sibling, I'm not his father, so I don't know exactly how they might feel. But to me, it felt like what they did was we fall in love with characters, but we also fall in love with the people who portray them. So when we're watching Denzel in a movie and we're going, this character in, you know, whatever, The Great Debaters is a great character, but we also love the actor for having done it. when I'm looking at that, I'm going, this tribute to like Andre is also a tribute to Chance. So it's kind of a heartfelt, bittersweet fourth wall break. We're winking at the camera and going like, here are the things that we feel about Andre. Here are the ways that we as a cast, like, because all these, like Polarity, Emma, Jazz Sinclair, Marie, like all of them, they all also knew Chance. So it's like these scenes where they're going like, we miss him, like we care for him, we were friends, like them as actors, like as young actors on a show, and them as students in a university, the relationship is very similar. So what they're talking about on the screen, paying homage to him, is like quite similar. So I think that's one part, but also it's very plot driven. Like I think that replacing Thunderbolt with who played him before, not Jeff Bridges, but who was the guy's name before?
I don't remember who it was.
Which is Robert Redford. Was it Robert Redford? No, that's the other guy. Anyway,
I don't know.
Having replaced him, that's like plot driven. We still need this character. And I think that they should have replaced, and I said this at the very start, and I think eventually the culture caught up to where I was at. They should have replaced Chadwick Boseman as well and figured out a way to write in a memorial for him, the actor, as well. So do a dimension swap or something. Have our T'Challa die and be replaced with T'Challa from another dimension. Like there's a lot of tool. I'm not a writer, but there's a lot of tools they could have used. But I think that they didn't, because the love of the actor and the racial turmoil of what that story was just made them too afraid, because it really fucked up the plot. Like it completely destroyed what the next movie could even be, because you don't have T'Challa. You're doing a Black Panther movie and you don't have T'Challa. That's doing a Batman movie without Bruce Wayne. Now we got to watch Batwing and Nightwing team up to, like, what are we even doing, you know? It's a great story, but no one wants to see that. So I would say it's a combination of plot and how important or emotionally driven the character is. And I think that in Gen V, it was not William Hurt. Thank you very much, AKJ81. It was within their ability to rewrite all of his storylines. They basically just were like, we have a magnetic character whose father was a magnet. We're just going to give all of Andre's storyline to Polarity, and then cool, and then do some tribute. Like they did it great. Like if you had asked me how to do it, I wouldn't have been able to figure it out. I think they figured it out. But did you feel like it was like milking it, and like if you were placing yourself in the mind of his family, it's like, this is much.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of, so like the first episode, the way that when they kind of revealed what happened to him, I think was a good like write off. And then like the end of monologue when old boy was talking about how dope he was in the jail.
Yeah,
he
pissed in the coffee. I thought it was beautiful.
I thought that was really good too. But it's just like, man, this is like every episode they brought it up, and it was like a point of contention the whole entire time. Obviously, we did, like, and to me, you could tell that Polarity, his plot line was supposed to be Andre's plot line. I think that's why like the dynamic between Polarity and old girl, the growing girl, was kind of like a little weird to me, where it's kind of like there was like this like sexual undertone.
Did you think so?
I think from her part,
from her
like,
maybe,
from her, not from him. He was definitely like on some like, you know, I'm your teacher.
Back up.
Like especially like at the end when she was like crying for him and stuff like that. And I was like, bitch, like y'all didn't even kick it like that. Y'all hung out like, you know what I'm saying? It was a little
felt
weird
forced.
to me. Yeah, it was like, nigga, like you trying to, like, you know, but you know what I'm saying? You trying to
fuck a little bit.
Yeah, like
you was trying to go big pussy or little pussy? Which one we doing? Are we diving in, or are you squeezing my shit? What's up?
So like, I don't know. I just, because it is an interesting conversation, even with like the Chadwick Boseman thing. Like for me, because he was not to discredit like Chance, because he was up and coming, but Chadwick Boseman was like a Hollywood person. Like, he was in all these 100%. Movies. He was such he wasn't polarizing, but he was definitely like around, Jackie Robinson.
Replacing him would have gotten way more anger than
especially during that time, because it was like COVID, the George Floyd things. Everybody was super sensitive and all that stuff. So it definitely, and then obviously I'm pretty sure Ryan Coogler was like, bro, like I don't even know if I want to fucking make this movie no more type. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just a crazy time. And I remember even during that time, Ryan Coogler, I think, got arrested at the bank because they thought he was robbing.
Yes, no, that happened in Atlanta. Like he got arrested at a bank because he had but it was bullshit. But that's what the explanation was.
So you know what I'm saying? So like I can see why they did that. I've heard both arguments about the replace the T'Challa thing, and I think, did you watch Black Panther 2? Did you go see it now? So like I like the it was good. The son being named T'Challa Jr., and they're gonna try to work that in. And so, but I think, but I also felt like their tribute to Chadwick Boseman was beautiful, because they did the whole funeral scene and all that stuff. So it is interesting, but like, well, Andre, I don't know, man. I was like, I don't want to keep hearing about him dead because like I kept thinking like this
Really?
nigga is really dead. Like
really
this
for
makes me
real dead.
feel
Yeah.
it's like Andre like it just was weird to me because I don't know how I felt about it. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they talked to the family and were like, you know, this is what we were planning on doing, but we're gonna do this. And then like again, the monologue at the end, I thought that was really beautiful. I think all their expressions about Andre, obviously, I feel like you said, it probably was from genuine, like how they really felt about the actor and you know the person. So I just find it interesting how like hopefully this doesn't happen very often because I don't like what are they gonna do with oh boy from like Euphoria because he died like and I mean they kind of have space because like you watch Euphoria.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
at the end of the last season, you know, oh boy, Ashtray got shot at, so I'm sure they could just say he got shot by the cops as well, and then just
Oh
move
yeah, fuck,
forward.
I forgot about that because his last, what was his name? Angus Stone. Like his last scene was him watching somebody else get killed, but now that that character also has to be dead as well. I didn't. Yeah, but I mean, it's a character that makes sense that character would like. It's easy to write that character dying. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to move a lot of parts around.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to do a big tribute or whatever to like make it work, but to me, it's it's difficult because also at the end of the day, not the end of the day, but one of the things that has to be considered is this is a job. Like, and I think that sometimes when we're talking about the creation of creative works, because it feels so much more frivolous than other kinds of jobs, which to be fair, it is, right? Like if you're running a hospital, that's much less frivolous than making a movie. A movie is not important, but art is significant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not essential in the same way.
Yeah.
It's not a necessity, but it's important. Like life is almost not worth living without art, but you won't die without it, if that makes sense. And so I think that people look at that and go like, oh, y'all were just trying to grab money. But it's like, yeah, but at the same time, like every production of a piece of content is like thousands of people's jobs. Like that's somebody's livelihood. So it's like, yeah, our main actor passed away. We're not going to not make the movie. You know what I mean? Like this is a franchise. People are putting the cameraman is putting his or her, you know, children through college off of filming this. You're going to still do it. So you got to figure out a way. We're not shutting the business down. Like, yeah, we honor you, but we're not shutting the business down. So how do we make this work? So
I just wonder, like, I just always because when I was watching, I was wondering, like, man, I wonder like who makes these decisions. Like, I wonder if it's like the showrunner, if it's the studio, like if the studio, like I said,
to the family too.
Yeah, but like I said, the Star Wars shit, the nigga died. They got a new actor immediately for him to replace him because obviously I'm sure for Ahsoka. I don't know if you watched Ahsoka.
Yeah. No,
like
never. I'm not a big Star Wars.
Like he's like one of the main villains, like one of the like his whole plot was like he was a Jedi. Once the Jedi Rebellion fell, he went to the Sith side, and he's like an Inquisitor or some shit. I don't know if you're big on Star Wars lore, but he's like one of the main villains in the show. And the actor like died like once the season. I don't like he died once the show premiered. Like the first episode of the show premiered, he had passed. You know, he passed away, and they replaced him immediately. And so I'm wondering, like you said, probably is plot driven. Like they probably needed him for the next.
We don't have room to do a tribute and have the character disappear.
Shit, so that is.
Whereas I think they just had it with Chance, because otherwise, like if they didn't have room, like okay, if they were like, look, Chance's character is so essential. If Jazz Sinclair died, what would they have done?
Yeah, they're gonna have to. They would. I don't know. Honestly, that would have been. Yeah, they would have to have.
Because that's what they did with old girl from Interview with a Vampire. When Claudia's actor, she didn't die, she just had to go play in another show, and they just replaced her with a different person. That's probably what they would do with Marie, because it's like you can't tell the story now. But with Chance, they were like, we can, so we will.
And maybe I don't know, because it was still in the first season, so like all the characters weren't fully fleshed out yet, so they could have been.
And
like,
she wasn't the chosen one yet. You're right.
Yeah, she wasn't nothing yet, so they could have.
They could have made Polarity the chosen one. If
I'm saying, Chance could have been like ultra mega. He has some brainwave, whatever, make some shit up that could kill Homelander, so they could have did that. That's why I'm saying, like, it was just like he was like a newer actor. The show was still in its inception. There was really nothing cemented with anything outside of just like there's a school, these kids have powers, there's some fucked up shit going on at the school, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't really, like I said, Marie's her ground plots were just like, I got out of jail, now I'm able to go to school, now I'm gonna try to find my, like, be a normal kid and try to find out what happened to my family. And then all this other shit just starts happening to me because they're hanging out with certain type of people or whatever. So, I mean, it is, it is a interesting I mean, like I said, I hope this doesn't happen again. I hope we don't see younger actors or just actors that are still
somebody in the comments said like that's why NBA players aren't allowed to ride motorcycles, because the Chadwick thing was surprising to me. Like the Chance thing wasn't as surprising to me because that's kind of it's like he's a smaller actor, his contract was probably less strict, and he's young. He was like 27, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, I think that with Chadwick, especially with the way Marvel deals are, like if you sign on Sam Jackson for 9 movies, I feel like the contract would have a whole lot of restrictions and disclosures and shit like that. So I'm like, to me, I guess I'm almost surprised that the mega machine of Disney didn't require Chadwick's medical records when they signed him. Maybe I'm being like super
that's crazy,
cynical.
bro. I don't know.
You think so?
Bro, you ask me for my medical records. This acting job, nigga. This ain't no fucking government job. Like, motherfucker, you gonna ask me if I'm smoking weed or not? What the fuck? Like my piss test? Like,
I mean, but that's because that's what they do in the NBA. Like,
I mean, yeah, but that's like a whole different, because like you think about in the NBA, they are so reliant on these players being fucking healthy, and there's like money invested in them before they even get to the fucking league. That like, nigga, like, because that's what happened with his name is Jay Williams. He's a correspondent. He was like the number 2 or number 3 draft pick in early 2000s. And he literally, before he even started training camp, he got in a car crash, in a motorcycle accident, and his career was fucked after he played like 2 seasons and he was done because he broke like his hip, like he fucked up his hip, and he was supposed to be like, you know, one of the better point guards. Came out of Kentucky, and so like I don't know if that was already in there before or if they implemented that rule after. I'm pretty sure it was in there before, so it makes sense. Boys, like with an actor, it's like at the end of the day, like most of these actors are replaceable. They vet so many different people who want to play a specific role that like they might have 1A and 1B. They go with 1A, and if somebody has a 1A, they could easily just. But with like, you can't replace fucking LeBron James. Nigga, LeBron James goes out before he rookie.
Bro, because I think that's like core to like what you're saying. I agree, and I think that's core to what I'm getting at. Because the whole conversation we've had is how does a studio that's trying to do a multi-million-dollar project navigate around losing an essential performer? Like you're right. Maybe they could have navigated around Marie. Navigating around Chadwick, but like Chadwick Boseman's death completely upended the whole trajectory of that franchise. Like Black Panther would have probably been the replacement for Iron Man in the entire MCU. The whole MC, like I'm not even gonna hold you. If Chadwick Boseman hadn't died, the MCU would probably be in a completely different fucking place. Blade would probably be already running. Like we probably would have had a better second Avengers movie. That shit derailed a whole bunch of shit. So to me, all the shit that you said about how essential a single individual worker is in an operation in the NBA applies to this. Like that shit completely sidelined them.
I don't know if Marvel calculated the trajectory of how big Black Panther was going to be though. Where Chadwick Boseman put himself in a position of LeBron, of Jordan, of a fucking a needed fucking actor, because you know what I'm saying, Black Panther came out, I wrote like people, it was a movement, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking Ant-Man came out, nobody gave a fuck. I mean, Ant-Man was cool, but no, it's like it's not like, nigga, if they replace Paul Rudd with fucking
like
whoever
the first signage, I kind of,
you know what I'm saying? Like
because Marvel seems like, because I kind of get what you're saying when it's like if we were talking about like in 2010, I would agree with you, because in 2010 the multi-film deal single character contract didn't exist. Right. When they signed Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man 1 in 2008, they didn't know there's going to be Iron Man 2, 3, Avengers 1. They didn't know that. But like by the time Black Panther was coming out, or even by the time that they signed Sam Jackson for Nick Fury, they're going, we're signing you for a 9-film, $30 million contract. So all that, like, we don't know what it's going to be, stuff is out the window. They've already invested in it being something. So when they signed Chadwick, they already knew we planned to phase 5, including you.
Yeah, with him.
It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't, like, even if there's HIPAA shit, the fact that I think they knew, and it just snuck up on them. Like, that's what I now think. I think that
maybe he might have been in remission or something like that. He was like, maybe it just kind of came back. I can see that. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess the most. I gotta look into that now. Like if they did,
it's so much money. There's no way a studio is taking that risk, because
he wasn't in Civil War before that too. He was in Civil War before that. And man, that is damn. I didn't think about that. Man, but I mean, back then Marvel was like getting everybody to go see everything because they, you had to essentially. But it's funny now that you think about it. It's like how everything has to line up so perfectly for like Marvel to do what it did and how everything did. And we look at like what DC like at the same time, because I was talking to some coworkers about that. They're like, yeah, DC's about to come back, and I'm just like, do you know how much perfect things have to line up for a movie cinematic universe to happen? I mean, like we're seeing it now with Marvel right now with all of these, like you said, Chadwick Boseman died. Jonathan Majors gets fucking arrested. He was supposed to be the
right.
They have to fucking bring
that kind of shit. The fact that actually, you know what? Maybe because the fact that Jonathan Majors wasn't under tight investigation makes no sense to me, and I'm wondering what's going on there. Because if and again, this is me putting my cynical supervillain helmet on. If I'm going, we just signed Jonathan Majors and his white girlfriend to a 10-film, $80 million contract. You would have private investigators on this nigga constantly to make nothing fucks up. Because all you need is one car accident, one STD test, one podcast appearance where he says the wrong thing to destroy an entire film trajectory of shit. So the fact that night happened to me is like, I'm surprised that they're just not. There should be a whole wing of them that's about controlling what their actors do, because the Jonathan Majors shit destroyed a whole section of storyline that could have happened.
Like 5 years got fucked just because of that nigga.
Hundreds of millions of dollars gone. They just had to write whole new stories. Like, you know how expensive that fucking thing was? Like, hundreds of millions of dollars.
That is interesting. Yeah, like you would think they would have like what they call them, like handlers,
like fixers.
Fixers, handlers,
like,
to like
get fucking Olivia Pope on the job.
Yeah, like nigga, you're not gonna fuck this up, brother. Like, fuck. So it is, that is because like with Warner Brothers now it's just like we don't know. And then now, like if you look at Warner Brothers, they're about to sell. They're up to sell. So like, what's gonna happen with all their IPs? What if they fuck around and be like, nigga, James Gunn, fuck you. We're gonna make this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that last Peacemaker season was kind of ass, nigga. Like, we're gonna replace you with this.
Done.
And it's gonna fuck up the whole. Or, you know what I'm saying? And then even right now with DC, there's like this internal beef between the person who did the Batman and James Gunn, where they're like, oh, I'm not, I don't want my Batman to be part of your shit. And like the Batman's not gonna be part of the MC. So it's gonna be, but they're gonna make a whole nother Batman. He's all right. I like him.
He's just not my vibe. Like, I don't know. Yeah. He's very like millennial white boy edgelord shit, which I'm not even saying I hate it. It's just not my vibe. It's just overrated for me personally. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist, but it's like, this is very Deadpool, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, same I did a thing type comedy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where it's like, cool, but you know, it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Guardians or none of those. Like,
well, man,
the
fact that he brought those
like whatever to me.
The most random characters and made him like kind of. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know if he had other writers with him. I don't think so, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not saying it. Look, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah. It just wasn't your.
It just wasn't my cup of tea. That's all. Yeah. It was a very structurally sound movie, but also I like grim dark shit. You know what I'm saying? I like the Batman. I like Winter Soldier. I like shit that feels like, you know, I'm edgy like that. So I like that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
We live in a society.
Okay. Yeah, well, I like we live in a society and the rules got broken and then shit got real. That's what I like, you know. What'd you think of the Cipher twist? Because everybody was like, I felt dumb because I was like, I didn't see that shit coming. I spoiled it because I looked it up on Reddit, but I was like, I was looking at all their evidence. I was like, damn, y'all right. But everybody apparently already saw that coming a mile away. I was like, I wonder why he doesn't have it in his blood. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. I didn't know I wasn't really like, I wasn't the same way. Maybe I wasn't watching it as hard or like playing into it as much because I was kind of like watching it kind of passively. But like, I was like, okay, I knew that the body was Godolkin. I was like, oh yeah, that is Godolkin. It has to be Godolkin. But I didn't know that Cipher until because they like revealed that he had the mind control powers. And then the next episode, it was like, oh, like, right. I think I'm pretty sure that's how it was. Like he, like reveals that he's the puppet, or maybe it's an episode later. I don't know, but I definitely didn't know.
I think it's one more episode after.
Yeah, it might have been one more.
Because it's like, because people were predicting that shit before, because they kept saying we don't even know what Cipher's powers are, and so I was like, okay, this is going to be a key plot point because either he's going to not have powers or he's going to have a crazy power that we don't know what it is. But people were predicting that he was a mind controller and that like before we even knew what his powers was, and I was like, shit, y'all niggas is too smart for me. Because I didn't, even when they revealed the power, I was like, oh, wait, what's happening? It to be fair, it did kind of make sense because I remember thinking when he was controlling Jordan in the ring, the face that Hamish Linklater was making was like real weird. It was like very strained. it was like it was really hard for him to control it, and it's because what he was doing was controlling 2 bodies at once.
Yeah.
So I was like, so it did make me think something, but I didn't finish the thought. I was just like, I wonder what it is.
I didn't really think too hard into it, honestly. And even with that, like those fan theory people, I've like removed myself from that like space of like watching like people who do all these fan theories and stuff like that. Because one, like I was big into that type of space. Like whenever like Game of Thrones and shit was popping, like I was like into all the YouTube channels and shit. And then half the niggas were wrong about everything and shit would just piss me off. I was like, all right, I don't want to spoil. I sometimes have time I don't even watch trailers for movies and stuff anymore. Like if it looks interesting, I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna go, because it just sometimes they don't know how to do trailers anymore, where they give too much sometimes, or they don't give enough, or it just pisses me off. So I don't know. I try to, like, when I watch a show right now, I kind of just turn my brain off and just watch it, and not try to think too much about it. But that was an interesting twist though, when I was like, oh shit, fucking, the whole mind control thing when he became the puppet and stuff. Like, you reveals that he Cipher was a puppet. I thought it was a pretty good twist, but I definitely didn't see that fucking coming.
Yeah, shout out to Hamish, because I feel like Ariana Grande's boyfriend was like like, and no disrespect to SpongeBob, like I fuck with you, I don't want no beef, but like his performance was so much worse than Hamish. I was like, they should have done it the other way around. I don't know, they should have done it differently, because I wanted to see. Yeah, they should have done it the other way around, because I feel like Hamish is such a better actor than Ethan, that like it was such a downgrade, Ethan being Godolkin again. I was like, this is lame. Like Hamish's character was so menacing, but like matter of fact and funny at the same time as being terrifying and always being one step ahead.
He has like that terrifying look without actually presenting as a terrifying person. Like he's just like a really good actor. I don't know, like when we were emailing back and forth, I'll tell you about the movie Nickel Boys. I don't know if you've seen that movie or heard about that.
I literally have the book sitting right there in the back, but I haven't watched the movie yet.
So like I remember I watched the movie. He's in the movie. He plays the like the headmaster of like the prison school or whatever for the kids.
Oh,
and he has like the same
scary as hell.
Yeah, he's the same performance, but with like a southern drawl and stuff like that. So when I saw him in there, I was like, hey, he looks familiar. And I was like, oh shit, that's the principal. So yeah, he did a really, really good job. SpongeBob, he was like, whatever. Like, I didn't know that was like, when I looked him up, I was like, who is this guy? I was like, oh, that's fucking SpongeBob. So I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, he was like, okay. It definitely was like,
he was adequate. Whereas Hamish was like a scene stealer. Like every scene he was in, he was the best actor in it.
Yeah, he killed it. Yeah, he has a very good way of like having those faces and just like the demeanor of like, again, being intimidating and a little terrifying without actually looking that way. And then like the way he would just talk and his demeanor about everything was definitely eerie, for sure.
Yo, yeah, shout out. Have you seen Midnight Mass?
No, when I looked up his IMDb, I saw that on there, but I haven't seen it yet.
Fucking clean. He plays this priest that comes back to, or that comes to his like old comes to this like small town or whatever, and starts like doing these sermons and shit. And it's like there's some creepy shit going on, but it's a great goddamn. So yeah, he's a great fucking actor, man. That motherfucker. Yeah, I thought he was related to Richard Linklater, but apparently it's totally unrelated. Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah, he did a good job. I think he did a good job.
Yeah. I do feel like I was also disappointed that I felt like he was like much more pussy of a character in the end than he presented, because he presented as this like super big bad, like a Stan. He presented like a Stan Edgar. You know what I'm saying? But he got took out super easily. Like low key, like he was mad dumb at like he did all of this big, incredible plan that was like years in the making, all of the second season. And then he decides to go rogue, spend a bunch of time on campus after having just barely escaped from the team that could kill him. And then goes to start practicing his, like, bro, you should have been in a bunker. The second your body got healed, you should have been in a bunker, taking over a secondary body, and then going from there. Because, and this is a pet peeve of mine with tropes. They did the same thing with, or they kind of like subverted it with Duplicate in Invincible, where it's like anybody who has like a body doubling power, whether it's they can duplicate themselves or they can push their mind into someone else, they always, or even Iron Man, where it's like you've got like a mechs or whatever. It's like they always put their body in battle, and it's like, why?
You don't need to do
like,
that. Yeah.
Well, you don't need to do that. Like the second we know that Iron Man can control a robot with the same level of fidelity as if he's not there, he should never be at any fight ever. Why is his body there? That's so fucking dangerous and unnecessary.
I think with Godolkin, like what was like a point that really stood out to me was whenever he was with Sage, and he was just like so ingratiated with all the and enamored with all the physical touch.
Somebody in the comments said as well. Yeah,
and the like all of that stuff. He was fucking rubbing all this. Like that was, I hate that, because I personally, I don't like when food just.
Oh, you don't like the?
Like, so it just made me even more like, oh, this nigga's rubbing.
You're not into like whipped cream on a body. You know what I'm saying? To be fair, I don't like whipped cream on a body either. But you know what I like? I like savory shit on a body, because I feel like whipped cream and syrups and shit like that, it's mad sticky. But like a little bit of MSG, you know what I'm saying? Some garlic salt is like lick it off a girl. It's kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some Old Bay on the.
I just can't, bro. Food, like for me, like I don't know if I was like this weird thing with food. Like to me, it's like food is just meant to be eaten and then not.
I agree.
Any other.
But
like
there's other things that are also meant to be eaten.
Yeah. But yeah, so like he yeah, so like I just kind of think back to that point. It's like, well, he just got so infatuated with just like the stimulation that he hasn't had in like fucking 40, 50 years, however long it's been. So he was just like, fuck all this. I just got some cheeks. I just had this food. I'm about to go kill some people. I'm gonna have all this thrill.
It makes sense.
Then I'm about to go and show how powerful I am and kill all these kids. And he didn't kill. I don't know. He killed like a few of them, and then
he killed a good bit of them.
Did he? I feel like a lot of them got up after. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Right. Oh yeah, no, even after they got all fucked up, they were like back to being like, you know, Thriller Night, you know what I'm saying, zombies and shit.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what took over. Like just all of the stimulants just kind of took over him, and then once they figured out how to fucking undercut him, and then obviously Sage, you know, played a part in that, because I think she kind of maybe calculated for the fact that the nigga might have crashed out, because you know like I said, he got some cheeks, he got some food after hundreds of years and stuff. So
no,
I think that's
look, I think it was, for me, you're right. The more and more I think about a lot of my criticisms of the show, they were the logical conclusions, or at least a logical conclusion for a lot of these characters. I just didn't like them. Like it just felt boring. But you're right. If you had been in a state of like blunted like physical experience for like 100 years, and then you came and you were like, I can taste pancakes, I can feel coochie. Like I can feel the air on my skin. You probably would not go. You would probably just crash the fuck out trying to have fun with that.
It's like that episode of a Family Guy when Joe ends up like being able to walk again, and he starts going fucking crazy.
Tell me shit.
Yeah, he starts fucking all of his friends up and all this other crazy stuff. So yeah, it definitely is just like when you're like stifled or unable to do something, and you're finally able to do it after such a long time. It kind of just like you take full advantage of it. So I think that's definitely what happened. So what do you think about like all of the like cameos? There was like one in damn near like every single episode, like all like the cameos from all the boys character.
I think I'm a little bit bored of Starlighter. I feel like the actor Moriarty, I feel like her performances have gotten worse. I don't know what exactly is going on, but it feels like she's just like putting less effort into acting. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's personal shit, but I just feel like she's just being Aaron instead of being Annie. And you feel that way as well?
I just think, and I don't want to like judge anybody, like, you know, their own personal decisions outside of like work, you know, like do what you want with your body. But I think the whole plastic surgery thing kind of like throws it off a little bit, because it definitely like changed her whole like look.
Definitely. So now because we acted like that shit didn't happen. It's like, baby, you got a whole different face. Yeah, like you look wildly different.
When it went viral for that, I was like, well, I looked at her page. I was like, damn, man, like again, like live your own life. She probably got hella like all this money, you know, from doing the show. It's just she was like, I'm about to do all the things that I wanted to do before that I couldn't to myself or whatever. So more power to you. But I think it definitely kind of threw off a little bit for me. I think the cameo thing was kind of cool, but it like some of them were just like I like the Deep when he popped up. That was kind of funny because it just made sense. He would be part of this stupid ass, or
to him,
you know,
to be a weird fucking rapist frat boy kind of.
Was but like I don't know if like Sam Edgar's appearance was supposed to be like a thing to lead to the next plot point, like not for the show, but like maybe in the long run type shit. Was
a little bit forced.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's funny because that type of thing is like cameos in like shows kind of got frowned upon, especially like going back to like the She-Hulk thing. That was like a big critique. It's like, oh, they're just using like they're just bringing up all these characters and stuff like that just to, you know, get people to come and watch. But I was like, that's kind of like the whole point of like comic books and comic book media is like you want to see the crossovers and shit like that. So it's like it's kind of stupid how now fans are like, oh, they don't like the show and now they're just gonna hate on everything, the things that they liked before, you know.
I think for Gen V, it feels like they should be bigger. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the Starlighter one, I'm like, I think that makes sense. I just have the issues because I feel like Aaron, for a few reasons, is kind of like off her game. You know what I mean? Her face isn't moving the way that it used to. The character looks, because also the character is, because what the character is meant to be is very a different person than what Aaron is. And that's fine. You, like you said, you can do what you want with your body, but this character is meant to be this, like, you know, fish out of water, girl next door kind of character. And it's kind of difficult to play that if you've got the, like, Valley Girl, Kim Kardashian look that kind of tells a different story of the kind of person that you are. Especially if you don't explain it in the show. So yeah, but I loved A-Train's cameo was great. All the other cameos felt like y'all are these crossovers almost don't make sense, because it's like the 7 are like wildly famous. And so it's like them visiting, I guess it's kind of like Emma Watson visiting Harvard. It's like, I guess it happens, but it's just like, it's too many. Like, these are very, very famous people. These crossovers should be a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tony Stark coming to MIT to do a talk is a big deal. It's not some stuff like, oh, I'm visiting my old frat type shit. The whole campus would be shut down.
I mean, some of them, like I liked Black Noir. I thought he was kind of funny. I like that he gave him like the goofy, quirky voice, and just him just being like a goofy guy. And then like they used him as a plot point also. Like, he's the guy who's going to come and take out Oh Boy, and then, you know, go from there and take Polarity out and all that stuff. But yeah, I think it was just kind of like, it doesn't really, like, the Deep showing up should be like a big deal, not only because he's like part of 7, but also he has this crazy like past history of like all these things that he did the last couple seasons, like the, you know, the sexual assault stuff, the redemption stuff, and all this other weird stuff. I mean, I guess it was just obviously just meant to be funny. Like I said, Stan Edgar, a plot device, Black Noir, plot device. The Starlighter thing was, I mean, it was cool. Like, you know, it's setting up the next season. So we'll see. I don't know. Like, I just think like adding the cameos maybe kind of takes away from the fact of it having its own show. Like, if somebody is just watching Gen V and these people just kind of pop up, you're gonna be like, who the fuck are these guys? You know what I'm saying? So whereas like you can kind of like whenever
Sage made sense.
Yeah, Sage made sense because she was part of the plan.
She's
like,
a key plot point.
Yeah. And she's only been in that last season, so she isn't like a cemented character yet, right? She was just in the last season of The Boys, so she still has more character building. So this was part of her character building. It was like, oh, she's super smart, but also she can be maneuvered by love and by affection of somebody she might, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that kind of
because being smart don't make you immune to feelings. So that's what was I gonna say? What did you think of Marie, like, as a character? Because or her motivation, because I felt like she was inconsistently written a couple of times, where it felt like she was just doing like borderline evil or irresponsible shit that was outside of her character, but to keep the plot moving. Like, even when she leaves the bunker to go by herself solo to like try and heal Cipher, that plan didn't even make sense. Like, it only makes sense knowing what the twist was going to be, but it's like, why did they think that healing Godolkin was going to solve anything? Like, that whole plot made no sense. Like, Stan comes out of nowhere to tell them that's what they need to do. Then Marie, despite the fact that everyone says don't do that shit, goes off solo to do it by herself. I guess they did set her up as kind of like, I guess, a bit of a wild gun, selfish, because she leaves everybody else at the prison and doesn't even come back to get them, which is actually kind of wild that they like just skated over that. Like, that's some borderline evil shit. And then when everybody's like, hey, look, we understand that you're a god and you're super powerful. We as a team are voting that you don't do this shit because it could harm us all. And she's just like, fuck all that democracy shit, and starts to fucking bloodbend them. I'm like, this is evil villain shit. And so Polarity is like, bitch, stop. What are you doing? And she's like, oh, my fault. And they just glaze over that like that wasn't some super evil weird shit.
Like, her arc was definitely interesting for this season. I don't know why they like going back to Stan Edgar. Why would you don't you know, like, he was part of it? He was the person who's done everything up to this point, like all this fucked up shit that's happened to you guys, and all these things that he was like. Why would you trust him or like want to fuck with him? I guess they kind of didn't. That's why they left or whatever. But it's like, why would you think, oh, healing Godolkin, who's also part of the VOT pipeline,
would fix
would help you guys? Like, he has his own interest at heart. Obviously Cipher was the bigger bad. I don't remember if they saw Cipher like abusing the body, so they probably thought like they had some sort of like beef. I don't remember exactly.
I don't even think they saw that. We only saw that either.
Yeah, so like that doesn't make any sense. Her
they
definitely kind of
hella conclusions to
Yeah, like her kind of going off of on her own, just do like whatever for like no reason. Like, what was she trying to do when she left escape the jail? Like, she was just gonna go in hiding and just like say fuck everybody else, or like
apparently it had been months since she left. Like she was
yeah,
making zero inroads to saving all of her friends who were still in the prison where one of them had died previously. Like that's crazy. She shouldn't have been doing anything else but trying to get them out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like as soon as Starlighter came and was like, "Hey, can you like do this mission?" Marie should have been like, "Yes, break my friends out of Elmira." That it would have made so much sense in that moment for her to be like, "Yes, my friends are in fucking Guantanamo Bay. One of them is already dead. There's 3 left. Break them out, please." But yeah, Marie was just she was just chilling, eating fucking Slim Jims and shit at the Quick Trip.
Like,
she wasn't doing anything.
Hanging out. Yeah, just like living in a hotel trying to get some change and shit. Like I don't know what. And then also like the whole sister like finding that kind of was like a weird plot point too. Is like, oh, like remember she was trying to find her family and let's let her go see her aunt that hates her and then find her sister and then like the sister has powers. You know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of like a mute point that I like I said, I kind of forgot about it. I forgot like, oh, she was trying to do that because she was locked up. She escapes and it kind of goes through these whole like the friend thing and the kind of goes from there and then they just kind of like not shoehorned it in, but it's supposed to, I guess, cap that whole entire arc of like the sister thing. And like that was her main goal, focus in the first season where it kind of got lost amongst all the other outerworldly things, So I don't know how how I felt about that. But yeah, Marie definitely had some.
I think the family, because I think that they tied in the family thing well, because the family thing allowed them to simultaneously get Annabeth into place, solve that problem, push her powers to the limit with healing Annabeth's slit throat. Set up the Odessa shit with the family photo. So like they know how you can use a plot point and make it set up a whole bunch of shit. They used it expertly. Like they managed to take the family thing and use that to set up like 6 different things. So it was well done. But I think it just made Marie come across as a fucking dickhead. But the show doesn't seem to acknowledge that. Like, bro, you know how crazy it is? Your long lost sister is arguing with you in favor of everyone else in the group who unanimously disagrees with your dangerous, wild, loose cannon behavior. And you go, man, this bitch got her throat slit last week. We're not listening to her. You know how crazy of a thing that is to say to your long lost sister who's just disagreeing with you? Like,
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, maybe it just is like that might be a thing again where that could be used as a point moving forward where she does things that might be in favor of her. She is supposed to be like a younger character who's supposed to be kind of growing and trying to figure the whole world out. And so that might be just something that moving forward, maybe the next season, she might do something else that's questionable or even dead on evil that she might think is right. Or, you never know like what's going to happen or what is supposed to happen. I'd like to believe that they might have done those things in a real way, not addressed it in a real way for a reason, but I don't know.
Yeah. And look, Jordan is smart for breaking up with her ass. Cause I mean, like, I would say that aside from like Kate is probably the most evil of like the primary gang. And then low key after that is Marie. Like she's kind of doing a lot of fuck shit. But you're right. And I'll even give Kate and all the other fucked up characters, like they are young people. Because I think she's meant to be playing like a 20-year-old or something like that. So, but I don't know if that's a full excuse, but it's at least an explanation. So that's fair enough.
Yeah. I'm pulling straws. I'm not sure like if if that's like what their intention was or not, or there was just like a plot hole that was just there to move the plot forward and stuff like that.
I also will say I really, really love what they've done with, and I wonder if kind of the alt-right people are mad at it or anything like that, but I really like what they've done with like Polarity, Chance, and Marie with regard to kind of like race and operating in a PWI and like that dynamic, because to me, Polarity is such a fucking interesting character. Because he's obviously he's a black man who obviously has a white wife and a mixed child, and that's a very interesting dynamic that they've set up. And everything about when you watch him act, when he's interacting with other characters, he puts on this like O.J. Simpson super like charismatic, like ingratiating. It's not step and fetch it. It's not that. Yeah. But it's this very like charming persona that he puts on. And it's interesting because it's like he puts it on even when he's depressed. Like even when he's like damn near suicidal, as soon as he gets into a room with Cipher, he's like, "Hey, buddy, he's doing all this kind of stuff to be this charming guy." And it's interesting because it feels like he's been chewed up by the machine. And it reminds me of like the him movie where it's like he's a metaphor for this an oppressed person taken into a system of power who learns how to survive by being similar to Kate as well, learning how to survive by being demure, and so he figured out my lane is I can be the super cool, hot black guy who's like cool, but not too threatening, but like real friendly. I can be the Will Smith. And so I turn that on no matter whenever. That's my survival technique. And I'm trying to teach my son that as well. Like if you don't do twice as much for half or work twice as hard for half as much, you won't survive. And then his son doesn't. And that,
it kind of like cracks his whole character arc. Like, because in the first season, he kind of came off as like the sports dad type of trope where he's like, he wants to push his son to be the best and like I was almost there, like I'm kind of made it about it. I don't think he was in the 7, and now you have a better chance to make it to the 7, and I already got you all the connections, and now you guys just fucking perform. And the son's like, nigga, fuck that, I don't want to fucking do that, I'm gonna go smoke some weed, hang out with my homies, and I don't care about all this shit. And then obviously I don't know what they were gonna do prior to Chance dying, but I think Polarity was probably going to die. I think that was probably going to be what and then he was going to have to deal with
from his aneurysm. That would have made more sense. Yeah,
I think that's my theory, is like what was going to happen, and then Chance was going to have and Andre's character was going to have to deal with the repercussions of his dad dying, and I don't know,
his own illness, and then he would have gotten healed by Marie or something. Yeah.
So and then moving forward into this season, it was just like him trying to, like you said, he was part of the system, and he's like figuring out like, damn, I pushed my son into this system that I already knew was fucked up from the beginning, but I thought, whatever. And he got caught up in it. He's dead. Now I want to break and buck from a system that I benefited from, that I was a part of, and that I survived, but I was just an outlier. I wasn't like the rule. I was the exception.
No, I'm the Barack Obama. I get it.
Barack, I did it. And so now he had to deal with the repercussions of all that stuff while trying to help his friends, find out how his son died. Figure out how to now navigate into doing something that is more meaningful and actually makes sense, and not just like this posturing of being like the cool black superhero that wasn't really the top guy, but was close enough that people kind of know you and have you had your own fans and all this other shit. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough, because now you're by yourself. It's kind of like when you reach the pinnacle of success, but then you have nobody with you.
And you in your little ModCon mansion all by yourself, because your son is dead, your white wife is gone, and it's like, you got all. It's just you, yourself, and all your millions, and
brain aneurysm, throwing forks and knives all over the fucking place, and
he season the fuck up, and the whole cutlery drawer is goddamn in the walls now.
So, he's definitely an interesting character. And then even like the dynamic between, like I said, with the student character, with old girl, the growing girl,
Emma.
It was kind of like a weird, Emma. It was weird because like they ended up going on missions together. Like when they went to the library,
which were written for her and Andre, right?
So that was kind of funny.
Oh,
like,
you know what? I just fucking figured it out, because I was asking myself, what the fuck was the point of this character, Greg? That motherfucker was useless and weird and because I thought he was gonna be a villain, because he kept popping up so weird with like no personality and no purpose. But what was supposed to happen is it was meant to be Emma and Andre going on missions. They were supposed to start falling in love, and that was supposed to be tension between Andre and Sam. But they were like, we can't have this 50-year-old dating a fucking 20-year-old, so we have to then have them just be friends, and we have to make up a new love interest for her. So we just hired somebody's nephew to be
he definitely was random. You said what?
Because I was like, this character is just so random. So it's like they must have added him in post Chance's passing.
Yeah, just add another plot point to have Sam do something, because he kind of was just like nonsensical the whole season. Like the only thing you find out, like him being crazy, it has nothing to do with the G and V. Is just, the compound V. It was just he was going to be crazy regardless of the compound V or whatever.
Oh, Sam,
yeah. Like he didn't really have, like he was just like the whole time. I remember just watching the show, he was just like in the background, just like. Like the actor, I don't know if they just told him to like have like the dead face, just to like,
because he never knows what's going on. Also, something on his I don't want to get into body negative shit, but anyway, I think that he does a good job of just being like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like he seems like he's got a psychiatric issue, and he's just heavily medicated, which makes sense for that character. How do we think? Because I've been thinking about it a lot with Gen V, because they toy with it a lot more, because the Gen V people are much closer to the inception of their powers, and they're not filtered the way the 7 are. Because the 7, when we see them, those characters, they've all been tested into to joining the 7. So they're already kind of like have cool powers or high levels of ability. What do we think? How do we think Gen V works? And do we have any Gen V related predictions? Like, for instance, what is Ashley's power going to be? Because I've heard some very interesting and compelling theories about like what Gen V what Compound V actually does. Compound V actually does.
I don't know, man. I mean, obviously Compound V is like a stand-in for like the mutant powers, where he's like, we don't have to explain the origins for anybody's powers. It's just like, you got this, and then something random just happens, and you end up getting wings, or you're able to fly, or whatever the fuck. So I don't, because I know like,
okay, let me
like the whole, like, there's supposed to be like different ones apparently, like the stuff that the original shit compared to like the newer
V1
stuff. So like I haven't really looked into like what the theories are or anything like that. I'm not sure how they're going to. I mean, they had like the disease, like, right? That was like a thing that, like, so is that going to be another plot point in the next season? Like getting the disease
that they were
out?
making an Elmira, or not Elmira,
because I think they did bring up the disease in the last season of The Boys. They were going to use that as Homelander, but so I'm not too sure about like what the whole point, or what Gen V. I mean, what were the theories that you saw about the compound?
So the interesting thing about that they put forward was the idea that what Gen V is doing, and it tracks pretty well when you look at the powers that we actually see and how they work and shit like that. But the idea is that that Compound V works on trauma. And so it works on your like psychological underpinned trauma, and your powers are a response to that.
Ooh,
and so it's not random. And the reason that it appears around puberty is because most young people don't have enough trauma for the Compound V to respond to generate an ability. So like when you look at a lot of people's powers, when they first come into existence, it's usually something traumatic. Like the Deep talks about the first time he got powers, or like recognized his powers, was when he heard lobsters begging for their lives at a restaurant. And that's how it like developed. And then you look at Marie, and the way her powers develop is her parents walk in on her during her first period, which is like a bit of a traumatic experience. And her body reacts by allowing her to control blood. But it's lopsided. And then you look at like Huey, his ability is based on the fact that he wants to keep himself safe, but he's also a very avoidant person. So his power is the ability to leave instantly and be somewhere else.
Okay.
And then they took Butcher, and they were like, okay, Butcher, his whole thing, his primary trauma in his life is his obsession with Homelander's capacity to harm him and the ones that he loves. So when he gets V, his powers are a replication of what Homelander's are. It's laser vision, it's the super strength, it's all of that. So he basically becomes a version of Homelander. So I'm like,
yeah, that makes sense, because
compelling theory to me.
When we see Homelander's, like he's been like fucked up his whole life, and that's why he's so fucking powerful. Like because he was like in the lab the whole time, he didn't have no friends.
They put V in his body as a child.
Yeah, and they just traumatized him since birth. So yeah, and that makes sense. That does make sense, because for me, I guess I never really thought too much about it. Like I said, it was just like the Stan Lee making X-Men. Like I got tired of making origin stories, so I'm just they're all mutants and they all have this random mutant power. So I kind of saw the Compound V as like,
I think this is more complex because it feels very specific and like, tuned into what's gonna happen type shit.
I mean, what do you think the trauma was for old boy with the big meat?
With the big meat? It was probably little meat. It was probably little meat. He probably had little meat, and he was like,
the mirror was like,
yeah, he was like, this ain't cutting it. And then his shit started, you know what I'm saying? Pool noodle.
He was on the hub 100%. and saw what they had going on. He saw Johnny Sins and all, and he was like, bro, what the fuck?
Said, the elevator started going up. Now, I honestly, I bet his parents probably walked in on him jerking off. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, if only I could control my penis. And then that's what his power was.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a good theory. So I didn't think about that. That's good theories.
Yeah. And because even with I would like to see them flash back to Godolkin, because I'm wondering, because he got burnt up and then he got mind control powers, but also was catatonic because of his body getting destroyed. I'm wondering if like mind control was his way to get somebody else to come save his body.
Also, I don't know, because I wonder if the burns were a part of his mind control powers. When he started power, like tapping into like 10 different people,
coming back up,
boiling up and shit. So I'm like, yeah, I wonder if they are gonna do like a flashback, because that what if it wasn't the burns? Maybe he was trying to save himself and he didn't have enough strength with like doing that, like even with one person at that time, and he just fucking, and then I don't know, and maybe the fire added to it, I don't know, but
Because it looked like he was getting burnt, but you're right. It looked like he was bubbling up faster than the fire. So it looked like it was actually a reaction to the compound. So I don't know.
Because everybody else in there got all fucked up. So
that is true. What Toxic 2234. You said Cipher got sexually assaulted and it was ignored. What are we talking about?
Because he was mind controlled and he was having sex with Sage and shit. Like,
oh, we talking about Doug.
That's what I'm thinking. That's
of course.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe that could have.
What's the convention? Because I'd be saying Cipher to mean the brain of Godolkin, whatever it's doing, and then Doug is Doug. But people, does Cipher mean? Are people using Cipher to mean Doug plus Godolkin, or I don't know?
I guess because they only knew Doug for like 10 minutes, so like they just gonna go by Cipher.
Right. So Cipher is that. Okay, got you. Yeah. Well, yeah, because he did, bro. The metaphor of sexual assault with the mind control shit, I thought was really interesting. Because you got to think about what Doug was going through. I don't even think they spent enough time on describing what the fuck that was, because Jordan went through about 30 to 60 seconds of it, and the way they described that shit was like, I just was raped. Like that's the word that they were using. They were like, it was in my body, and I was somewhere else, and it felt like I was completely violated. Like they were describing it super like traumatizing. And then even later on, Cipher like leans into it. He's like, yeah, you fit like a glove. You know what I'm saying? He's like kind of like egging him on, like to kind of dig in deeper to that metaphor. Yeah. So imagine being in a state of perpetual assault for how long was he under? He was down from the 90s. So like 30 years.
Just watching shit happen. You have no control.
I don't even know if he'd be able to function. Like he'd just be like, you wouldn't even remember who you are.
Yeah, he would just be like Sam. Like that's literally his whole life. You don't even know. Like I'm like how surprised you even knew how to maneuver his body and shit like that, and in a real way, even just like even express those emotions. Because like when he was talking about Andre, because bro, you were like brain dead, traumatized for decades. How would you even? It's like when you see like victims who are like in like sexual assault situations, like trafficking, people who have to go through like these years of therapy. Whereas, like, bro, you immediately got dropped, and then you're like, oh, thank God, I'm back to being like, I don't even care if I got a gash wound in my arm, like my gut. Like, it would make sense like you don't care about the gash wound because you don't even you're numb to everything at this point because you've been essentially tortured your whole life. So it's like that is pretty interesting. Yeah.
Because he had to have been, he was working at Blockbusters, living out of his car or whatever. He had to have been like, he was probably the age of the Gen V people when he first got his body stolen. So he's like, in his head, he hasn't had control of his body since it's probably his 20s. And now he's like a 50, mid-50s guy. It's like, man, you would be so...
Whole life.
And also because Godolkin was regularly abusing his body. Like when he stabs himself in the hand, he's like, I can't feel that shit from the barometric chamber. Like I can feel it a little bit, but it's like a condom, like I said. But Doug is feeling that whole thing.
All that, the whippings,
like he was fighting through because Polarity broke all of his ribs. Like when he was throwing kettlebells at him, and Godolkin was like, that's fine, whatever. But Doug is like inside in his own head in the sunken place, like, oh God.
Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah. Damn, that's tough. That would be tough. For sure.
Bro, when he came back up, he was like, oh God, my spine. My ribs, my hand. He was in so much pain. Yeah,
you would think also he wouldn't be like scared to like die. Like whenever he pops, like, no, I'm Doug. Like he's all scared. Realistically, he'd probably be like, bro, finally, bro, someone's gonna get me out of here.
Really?
Bro.
You think so?
I would think so. Yeah, bro. Like think about it, bro. You're like tortured like 40 years, 50 years of your life, and now you're finally free. It's not like you're gonna be like Godolkin, where it's like I can all this stimulation. Like you're being freed in a moment of being pain, whereas like Godolkin was just trapped, but he was still able to. He still had life. He was still able to move. Yeah. I'm saying like he just didn't have his own personal. So it was just like a like you said, the glove, the condom feeling of touching shit, eating. It wasn't the same. Whereas Doug, it's like, bro, like I was behind. Everything. Yeah, it's just like, fuck all this shit. It's been so long. Thank God I'm free. Please get me out of here. That's all I think. Like
and also because. I think if I was him, I would probably be like, please don't kill me because I finally have a chance to be alive again.
Yeah, that
but also because like you're in your head experiencing all that kind of stuff, but you can still think. So he can still, even though he's like locked in, he can still think. Like when people are in a coma or have that locked in syndrome, he, like you said, he still was able to think enough to form a bond with Andre, even though he never was able to interact with Andre directly. He could still form a bond and be like, I love that kid. You know what I mean? Like I can't ever say hi to him because I can't use my body, but like I'm charmed by him. So
yeah.
But the amount of pain that his body was probably in, you're probably right. Wait, like being like, I finally have the like, because before he wanted to scream but had no mouth. And now all of a sudden he's got a mouth and it's like, I'm in excruciating pain. I have a festering stab wound in my hand. You've broken my spine. Several of my ribs are broken. Just kill me, dog. This is so painful. Like,
yeah. I don't know, because even like when he was in the car and old boy was telling him like, oh, do you have any family? And he's like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't even have nothing. Like, I have nothing.
It's been 30 years, dog.
Yeah,
my mom been dead. Like, you know,
I don't even. She might. I don't even know it. And even if I pop up there, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who? You know what I'm saying? So that would be a real.
Who are
like,
you?
Yeah, it would be a weird like time thing. I mean, not to be like dark, but I'm sure like after like a week, if he didn't get killed in the car after a week of just sitting in the hotel, you'd be like, yeah, fuck this, and he probably would have offed himself or something like that. Because you just got to think of how the trauma he would have to have gone through. I don't know.
Bro, the fact that they did, it was obvious plot bullshit, but it's like when Marie was like, you know, I'm too tired. I don't even think I can heal this nigga right now. I'm like, okay, like I guess
you're being a hoe, bro. Like, come on, you can push.
Through, come on, like, or even just like, why are you driving him in a regular car to the hospital,
wide open?
Wait, right?
Yeah, like they weren't.
Like you could have just waited. Like wait, like don't heal Kate and just be like, cool, fuck Kate. Let's just wait an hour. Let me have some orange juice and a couple of, rice cakes or whatever. And then I'll see if I can heal him then. Like,
take a nap.
You know, it's plot.
Take a nap. Type shit.
Come on.
That is crazy. Yeah, they definitely set him up just to get fucking murked.
You got any predictions for what Ashley's power is from the boys based off like what the theories we had of how works?
The Ashley was the intern that started plucking her hair and shit out, right?
Yes, yeah.
Damn, I haven't even thought about that. I don't know. I think it's gonna be some fucked up shit for sure. Because he was all in that BDSM stuff, and like she was like, so she's gonna have some something weird, something weirder, some more like self-destructive type shit. Like I haven't even thought about that, but yeah, her shit's probably gonna be crazy. Because especially if it's based off of the trauma theory, like it's gonna be something like, I don't know. She was like taking shits at Homelander's place and all that stuff. So, yeah, remember that? Like, yeah, damn. I don't know what do you think?
So I don't have my own theory, but I might think of it while we're talking. But the best theory I heard is that they're going to adapt her into the Jack from Jupiter character from the comics. And what they're gonna do is be like they're gonna make her like Shazam, where she's like a BDSM character who, when she says her safe word, she becomes indestructible, but maybe she like looks disgusting. And so it's like it would tie in all that, because her whole trauma is the fact that she feels like often powerlessness and powerfulness are her two main driving forces. She wants to control people that she can control, and she's constantly having to submit to people more powerful than her, and it's pulling her hair out over it. Yeah, it's a state of who can I control, because she's a switch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it'll be something similar to Emma, where it's like they take a regular power, indestructibility or whatever, and then they make it. You know what I mean? You know what it might be? Okay. So it's probably going to be, she has the ability to switch between totally intangible or completely indestructible, but only one at a time. So if she's indestructible, she can't get away, but if she's intangible, she can't like touch shit or move shit or something like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't even thought about that. That's crazy. I forgot she even got the compound in her. So
all her hair started goddamn undulating and shit.
I felt bad for her the whole show until like that last couple, like when she actually got in charge, started being a bitch and stuff, and I was like, damn, that's crazy.
She's the same thing as Kate, which is it's like as soon as you have power, because power corrupts. And so even if you are oppressed, which both Kate and Ashley experience, you also have the capacity to be a danger to others and a harm to others and shit like that, which is because polarity, like low key polarity is that as well. But they took him in a different, more redemption trajectory, which,
because he was like that, because he was essentially like, instead just pushing all of this trauma that he learned onto Andre and trying to make him do the same thing, but in a better way, like you said, the sports dad metaphor. Like, I didn't make the NBA, but you're gonna make the NBA. You're gonna make it. So,
and then you fucking. I mean, and I know this was driven by the real world events, but man, the trauma of the character polarity being like, man, I really killed my baby. Like, I really drove him to this shit and didn't support him, and he ended up doing something else, and all of that work that I put in to try and make him the acceptable Negro was for nothing. He still ended up in prison, killed by the police. Like, that's it's actually it's layers to that metaphor of being like you tried to make your son into like an acceptable Negro, and he still ended up getting killed by the cops. Like it's kind of a crazy situation.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, even like in the last season, he like he knew like Polarity knew about like all like the woods and all this other shit, and was trying to keep Andre from away from like even looking into that type of shit, like, and so he just led him to like down the not the wrong path. They're on the right path essentially, but that was detrimental to his life, as far as the story goes.
Is there anything else that we've not touched yet that you wanna hit on, or like predictions, questions, concepts?
See, I had some stuff written down, but I think
take your time.
Let me see. I think we kind of hit everything. I don't know if you kind of gave what you think is going to happen after, like for the next season, and then like where the show kind of goes after this, because I like Gen V doesn't rely on the main series of The Boys, but I don't know if the fans are going to stay with Gen V after The Boys ends, because there are people who are solely fans of The Boys and may not be fans of Gen V or even watch Gen V. Because I saw a post, I don't know where like the showrunner was saying, if you want another season, you gotta have to watch the show. You'll have to watch season 2, or it's just not gonna fucking.
Yes.
So I wonder, like, what do you think is going to come from there? Also, this is like another question. I think this, like, what do you think about this group of actors? Do you think this is gonna be like the next kind of like people are gonna be like in more bigger roles? Because I never saw Jasmine Sinclair in anything. I never saw the person who plays the guy that plays what's
Derek Love.
Yeah, the
Boy Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan. Sorry, yeah, Boy Jordan. I never seen him in anything else. They've had like little small, even at the growing small girl. She's never been anything else. But they've all to me they've all had really great performances in the roles they are. And this is a big show, and a show that's like culturally around. So I'm sure they're getting phone calls and stuff like that. But what do you think is going to be like the trajectory of these actors? And then
the show. I think they're in really good position because there's a couple of things that stick out to me. One is that all of their performances are really fucking good, like super naturalistic acting. Like I wouldn't say any of them are like particularly like charismatic. I think Emma, what's her name, Lizzie Broadway, I think she's maybe the most charismatic character. But all of them feel like people. Like none of them feel like they're acting. Like Marie, I don't think that she's particularly charismatic, but she feels like a person, like not a performer. But the other thing that I think it matters is that they're all fair. They're all a good bit older than the ages that they're playing. So like Sinclair, she's like 31, 32, and she's playing like 19, which to me means she's got like super longevity. And it means that she's also got all of that experience of industry before starting it. So they can know she's going to be like, she can play 19 or 20 for probably the next like 5-6 years, you know what I'm saying, before she gets into her 40s. So I'm like, that to me is a good indicator that she's probably going to blow up and be big. I don't think Sam is going to do anything. I think Derek Love maybe, London Thor maybe. Who's old girl that plays Kate? I forget what her name, Maddie Phillips or something like that. Maybe. I think the only person that is going to do something more is
Jasmine.
Jasmine and Hamish Linklater. But he already kind of been having his little trajectory. But I think this might.
Which one's that? Who's Hamish? The Cipher.
Doug. Doug Cipher. Yeah.
Derek Love. He could be
is a hard name.
Yeah. Doug could be Derek. He could be Mark. They try to do a live action Invincible show, because there's not that many roles for half Asian, half white people. So if he lands that Mark live action Invincible role, and he
could be cut his hair short. He could 100% be live action
like that. He could do that. There's not that many actors that are like Asian white. Also, so I think they're gonna be fine. I just like, because you see like what happened with Euphoria, like all those fucking guys. Even Euphoria's on a different level as far as like popularity goes. But all those actors
from Euphoria, Alorti, he made it.
Maddie is popular.
Who's Maddie?
The crazy white boy, the main guy that was with the Hispanic girl. His name's Maddie. He's in a bunch of shit now. I don't know his fucking name. From Euphoria, the main white dude, the crazy boyfriend whose dad's like in the closet. And
you talking about Jacob Elordi? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know the actor's name.
Oh wait, what did you say his name was?
Maddie. That's his name. Isn't that his name? What's his name in the show?
No, I don't think it's
Maddie's somebody. I think that might be the girl's name. I'm gonna look it up. But
yeah, I think because Maddie is a girl name.
Gender neutral.
But yeah, nobody from that has blown up except for
Sydney Sweeney.
Zendaya, who was already big.
Oh, his name
and
is
Jacob
Nate in the
Elordi.
show.
Oh, Nate. Yeah.
Nate. Who was mad?
So yeah,
Angus
I mean,
Cloud
I'm trying to think. Say again.
As Angus Cloud,
yeah, he might have been going somewhere. So I think because there's always a market for light skinned women. Like that's or maybe not always, but I feel like the industry is hungry for that right now. So Marie 100% is getting picked up to do some big projects, like guaranteed. Because it's her, it's Zendaya, it's
Halle Bailey,
old girl from Mermaid, old girl from Interview with the Vampire, old girl from Foundation. Like it's a lot of and it's commercial vibes, So she's gonna do well. Because Sydney Sweeney did blow up. That is true. You know what? I will say Lizzie Broadway. This is my prediction. I think Lizzie Broadway is very likely to blow up as well.
We'll see. I mean, even Storm Reed, she was popping. She's been in a lot of shit. Zendaya's little sister, she's been in a lot of shit. Who else? I'm trying to look at the cast. Yeah, I mean, most of them did pretty good. I mean, Hunter Schafer, she's been in a couple movies here and there. She was like in Long Legs, I think it's Long Legs or something like that. A couple horror movies.
Was that the one where she has her head wrapped up in a Looney Tunes bandage? Yeah,
Long Legs is Cuckoo Nest or some shit like that.
Oh no, that one's Cuckoo. Yeah. Cuckoo. But yeah, she did a couple of things. Yeah, I think she did a pretty good job. Yeah, no, she was pretty compelling. Yeah, she was compelling. 4 or 5 of the main cast popping. I think that's we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I mean, seeing Sweeney, she leaned into her all right bag, so she's definitely gonna be around for a while.
Yeah, we'll see how the tide goes, because you know what I'm saying. Hollywood don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying. So I think that's a weird investment to make.
Yeah, because her last couple movies didn't really do shit. Like the rest of the movie,
I can see her actually like zero. Because even if you go, the political wind has changed. The ethos in the art world has not changed for the most part. So I don't think directors are going to be like, oh, I want her in my movie. Like, so I think that she might fall off from this and have to be on the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
She's not like a really like great actress anyways. She like is like okay, and she's just more like just a T and A, really just T. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. What about like, what do you think about like the dynamic of like having like the black girl going out and beating the blonde hair, blue-eyed white guy like Homelander, and then Emma, like, or Marie? Like, do you think that is a calculated thing that they did in order like to, you know what I'm saying, because she's supposed to be like his foil? You think that is, or maybe I'm just reading too much into that?
I think that's like I think they stumbled upon that almost, but I think that because interestingly, Gen V is like very black. Like the ratio of black characters is actually quite high. So it's like you got Polarity, you got Marie, and you got Sage, all as like the main primary
and Andre
cast. Yeah. So it's like, Andre as well.
Yeah,
so you got this. Yeah. So it's like, to me, I was just like, oh, this feels nice in a very passive way, because I think when Sage comes into the room with Polarity and Black Noir and him were talking and he was fanboying out of him, it just hit my mind that like, oh, this is a moment where you've got this like whatever the black version of like the Bechdel test would be. It's like, oh, we've got a superhero show where it's just all black characters interacting, and they're not talking about a white, and they're talking about another black character. It's like, oh, this is quite a rare moment. Like, you never see this in anything. And I was like, oh, this just feels like a interestingly like nice.
Yeah, and it's not like considered a black show or like black media anymore. It's just like a show, you know what I'm saying? So like, that is interesting. I just was thinking about that. Like, I wonder if that's like a calculated move. Like I said, how they kind of pissed off their fan base by like making Frenchie gay and the boys and, you know, all that stuff. So I'm wondering how if they're like leaning into that a little bit more. By
Frenchie seemed like he was gonna be queer though. Like, that didn't even feel like some surprise shit. Like, he seems like the type of nigga who'd be like, yeah, I love her. I fuck everybody. I love dick. I love pussy. I love it all. You know, it's like, yeah, of course.
He's a crazy guy. Just didn't care about whatever. Yeah. But people were pissed off about that. I remember that. And his boyfriend was black too. So
and to me, it was a little bit weird. His boyfriend was mad young too. I don't know. Like, I was looking at that like not crazy, but it was a little like I don't know. Maybe I'm being, I don't know. But but Frenchie Ben gave like a little bit of sugar in the tank kind of vibes. Like, that he just seemed like the type of guy. Like, not even on some like flamboyant. He just seemed like I'm game for everything type of a person.
He seemed to me like he was just gonna keep trying to go after Kimiko. And Kimiko was gonna be like on some like I'm asexual. Like I don't give a fuck about trying to fuck you. I'm trying to go. I have my own shit going on. Like I don't give a fuck. God. I was in a fucking cage. You know, all this shit, crazy shit going on in my life before I met y'all guys, and now it's even worse.
So yeah, she got some crazy trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a very culture war. I think I don't know if it's intentional, but I think that they probably wrote themselves into a place where it's going to be, it's going to be like a black woman with blood powers taking out the white supremacist blonde-haired Superman is going to be very visually iconic. It's going to be very like telling. And I think there's going to be some culture war shit about it. Cause you're right. That like the moment when they fight and she blows his head up or depowers him and does her little, cause did you think that the speech of like, we beat you, even the weak ones, or like in the end where they're like, we are the resistance. Like, did that feel a little bit on the nose to you? Because both of those felt a little bit slightly ham-fisted. Like still good, I mean, like better than the last season of The Boys to me.
I think they were trying to make it kind of like hype and kind of cool, like this cool thing, like, oh, we're the rebellion, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna go fuck this shit up and save the world, or you know what I'm saying, kind of like doing like the superhero thing.
It was a little much for me, yeah.
Yeah, it was whatever. I mean, it was like cool, but it's definitely gonna be interesting. It was gonna be annoying if this happens, if like Marie does like the whole like, oh no, you know what, we should redeem Homelander, or like, you know, they kind of pull that card and try to save the nigga, and I'm like, this nigga killed a bunch of people doing all this weird, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that goes. But definitely the optics are going to be interesting, and the internet's gonna have a frenzy, especially that, you know, the culture war people are gonna have a frenzy with it. So we'll see.
Well, all right. On that note, everybody, if you see your parents coming into your room while you're in the middle of experiencing your period, you might be seeing a red flag. But at the same time, if you're trying to get a redemption arc just because you got your head busted open, you know what I mean, and your arm blew off, but you really haven't redeemed yourself at all, you might be seeing a red flag. Or so you might be waving a red flag. It's been Waving a Red Flag podcast. It's been your boy Eddie. It's been Kova. Do you have anything that you want to shout out? You know, what you got going on? What do you want to tell the people?
Oh yeah. So go check out my YouTube channel, Kova's Lookout. I do video essays on comic book stuff. Now I don't do like reviews or like explaining a character. I do critical analysis on like the comic book landscape, not the like exposing grifter thing that's been like a phenomenon going on, more just like deep dives on like the culture of like comic books, the history of stuff, and how we've gotten to the space that we're in as far as like comics goes. Check out my Instagram, the Kova. The Rojo Kova. I'm a comic book artist as well. So I have, if you go to my website, avoxcomics.com, I have a bunch of comics for sale. I have a couple of them right here. You guys want to check them out? This is like my newest comic. I write and draw all my stuff. So if you guys are interested, go to my website and and get a copy if you're interested. I have some stuff up on my website for free as well. But yeah, Instagram, the Rojo Kova, YouTube, the Kova's Lookout, and that's So
what's you guys the Instagram? More, I'm just gonna drop it in the chat real quick.
It's the Rojo, ROJO Kova. That's like my art page. I post all my artwork and updates on like my work as far as like comic book stuff goes. And then my YouTube channel, again, do video essays on just like a bunch of things that are comic book related. You know, some of my more popular videos are like me talking about how black characters specifically are treated in like the space of culture as far as like comic book stuff goes. I'm currently working on a video on how the independence comics, like the word of independent comics, kind of got co-opted and changed it to a whole different meaning and look. That should be dropping sometime this week. So you guys don't mind, check it out. Appreciate you for having me, Eddie.
Yeah. Big bet. Absolutely. All right. We're going to say goodbye to everybody in this chat. Is there any questions that we have not yet answered? Let me see. This one. Leave a like on that way out. All right, everybody. I'm just going to end the stream and